I don't want to say there's a lackadaisical attitude towards the sports sector in Nigeria, or maybe the government don't just see it viable or as a viable source of revenue, because in other climes, stadiums are generating so much. In the Premier Leagues, in the La Liga, stadiums generate. You hear of ticket prices and you're like going to about £1,000. I'm like, just to watch a match, £1,000 in Nigeria is how much? Now imagine you spending that.
This is Souq business landscape. Now, the Abuja Stadium renovation is meant to go up 24.6 billion. This is in the 2024-2026 budget. Let's be straight, it's in the budget. Now, the upgrade of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, is expected to cost 24,642 million from the 203,602,968,852 allocation to the National Sports Commission in the 2026 appropriation bill. The project is one of the flagship items under the Commission's expanded capital program for the coming fiscal year. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presented a 58.18 trillion naira budget of restoration to the joint section of National Assembly last year, with the sports sector emerging as a major beneficiary. Okay, now let's get back to you, Swift. Looking at the project, we are still seeing a way where government and government infrastructure, be it in sports, be it in other places, is being run with government money. Is it possible that government should take their hands off this infrastructure, take your hands off the stadium, take your hands off some of this hospitality stuff? Let the private sector handle it.
They won't agree.
They won't agree, exactly.
Now, government workers. So we saw during the last Olympics, some international brands decided to sponsor our athletes. They gave kits, they gave monies. But guess what? The National Federal Sports Association still ensured they collected money from the federal government. By the time we were seeing what these people sponsored, it was supposed to be enough to take athletes, take government officials out of the country. It boils down to the same corruption, human nature, the accountability gaps in government. We also saw that over there, I think Samsung gave out mobile phones to every athlete that participated. Our government officials went there and collected the phones and refused to give it to the athletes. And the athletes, especially the international ones, the local ones who were afraid of being blacklisted, didn't see anything. But the international ones came out to say, look, my counterpart that ran the 400 meters, she got this. We were supposed to get it, and they had to call out. And the federal government had to come and, make a speed that please kindly return athletes' phone, and they did a wishy-washy or whatever. It boils down to the fact that every time government wants to step up, there are certain people who have decided to sit in government and eat funds. And this comes with sports. Because I can tell you more than 4 betting companies who will gladly drop the money for the repair of that stadium. That's what happens internationally. So that they will have their logo there for the next 5 years. They will have it there for the next 10 years. There will be major sponsors. There are people who want to sell tickets if the national stadium is well built. But guess what? Somebody will say no, because they are looking at making money all round. So it still boils down to corruption. The federal government needs to sit in on this. If not, we're going to give out a lot of millions again. The same Abuja stadium that millions were used to build. There was a time just maintenance, sweeping the stadium. There was grass all over the place. People had to be showing how the Tata tracks, they refused to use it. The Athletic Federation of Nigeria said they did not want to take athletes there to go and participate. Instead, they were taking them to Warri, where there was information that the governor was more nice, more buoyant towards them. And that track died. We've seen it on and on. What do we do?
Okay. Let's look and flip these particular pages right now. We've seen stadia outside this country directly sponsored by brands. Naming, stadium naming is big business outside this country. Major brands are paying as much as $50, $100 million for stadium naming for 5, 6, 10 years. Why is ours different?
While she was talking about footballers, I remembered and I wanted to ask you, our last coach, has he been paid the full, what he was
Why
paid?
would you do that?
Now, why is that so? You made an agreement with someone to coach a team, and he has to come out on social media to call you out to say you've not paid him. We've seen when this lady, Oshwala, made a post, an embarrassing post, about what is happening. It's quite sad. And I think, I don't want to say there's a lackadaisical attitude towards the sports sector in Nigeria, or maybe the government don't just see it viable or as a viable source of revenue. Because in other climes, stadiums are generating so much. In the Premier Leagues, in the La Liga, stadiums generate. You hear of ticket prices, and you're like going to about £1,000. And I'm like, just to watch a match. £1,000 in Nigeria is how much? Now imagine you spending that, almost 2 million, to go and watch one match in Nigeria. Okay, let's even bring it down to 10,000. We do events, VIP, 500,000 per table, this, that, so we can even... Now imagine if we had stadiums and international matches, or even local matches, the Enyimba Shooting Stars have been played and people pay money to go and watch them. Do you know how much we'll be generating? Do you know how much if NFL sold a broadcasting right to a particular station or a particular... And that money is...
Should the government take their hands off the stadium?
The government should put... That's what I'm saying. That's why I said, I don't know where it's a lackadaisical attitude. Because it seems as if that part is just... And what we do is, whoever is... No shades, whoever is the leader at that point, when the team does well, he congratulates them, invites them to Abuja, gives them land and all that. But to just see their welfare, the stadium. How many stadiums do we have in Lagos? Most of our stadiums, we use it during May Day or Independence Day.
No. The Lagos Stadium is functional. Very
Should the
functional.
government-
Yes, I'm saying what we use it for.
Should the
there are a lot
government
of
take their
things.
hands off these facilities?
They shouldn't. They should ensure that from start to finish, whatever money is budgeted goes to where it's supposed.
If government don't take their hand, then government will keep spending government money.
Yes.
And somebody will wait for it to dilapidate, then come spend another government's money.
That's it.
So should government take their hands and make these facilities
Private.
driven?
Yes.
Public partnership? Well, no problem. I see that. But then again, if you go into that route, how would you be able to also curb prices? How do you to do?
When we get there, at least we're not
Cross
spending
the bridge.
government money
Yes.
and can't account for this government money. So when we get there, let's also practice what is being done outside this climb. Let's learn some
But
particular lessons.
it's out of amongst ourselves that a government official is being picked. So it is ourselves.
It's ourselves.
So
it's not as if
we should take responsibility for what's happening.
Yes.
Okay.
People to start going to jail for it.
So for example, Lagos State Stadium is one of the best. Why? Because there's a public-private partnership. At least I think the last time I was at the gym equipment, everything was being handled by privatized place there. And there are some things that are being privatized. Although, of course, there was a lot of complaints from the athletes that it's more expensive. You know, there's a fee now. Some of them have to pay. Although the person in charge of the stadium at that time said no, that athletes that are, sane, that are representing the states are given a pass to go there free. But if you're just a regular athlete that you haven't, shown yourself, you need to pay. I know the Taekwondo one too was refurbished. The one for squash was refurbished by private people. So there should be more commitment. But some of these private people claim that they still have to pay kickbacks to be able to get the contract to partner.